The fate of the Khoja community in British courts of India. The Khoja community is believed to have been evolved from its simplistic Satpan tradition to a more nuanced structure often claimed to be Sirat-e-Mustaqim. In other words, the transformation is from a regional caste identity to a global religious identity. The pertinent question to be explored here is, what led to this transformation? There were three major factors at play. Number one, dissenting voices. Around 1828, some of the elite members of the Khoja community expressed their dissent concerning the administrative policies of the leadership. Number two, in the subsequent years, His Highness Aga Khan arrived in India. That was in 1846. Number three, in 1857, India witnessed an unsuccessful revolution against British East India Company. All these factors at variable degrees of influence and impact contributed to the transformation of the Khoja identity. Between 1828 and 1866, three major cases of the Khoja community were brought to the British courts. The first case revolved around a dispute over inheritance. The story goes this way. Haji Mir Ali was a successful business tycoon whose wealth was estimated to be around 300,000 Indian rupees. That was in 1842. He had four wives. His surviving wife was Sonabai, but he also had daughters from previous wives. One of them was Hirbai, who claimed her share of inheritance against her stepmother Sonabai. The conundrum for a British judge was, are Khojas Hindus or Muslims? The implication was clear. If Hirbai, a Khoja daughter, is considered a Hindu, then she will not inherit her father. Hindu law simply does not grant that. If she was a Muslim, she will inherit her father as mentioned in Quran. A British judge, Sir Askin Parry, was asked to adjudicate on the dispute. Mr. Howard represented the plaintiff Hirbai and Mr. Dickinson represented the defendant Sonabai. Howard argued, Hirbai is a Khoja. She is Muslim and entitled to inherit her father based on Quran. Dickinson replied, but the religion of Khoja is distinct from other bodies and sects of Muslims. Interestingly, an elite Khoja named Habib Ibrahim gave an astonishing testimony. He said, some say we, the Khojas, are Sunnis and some Shias. Our religion is a separate religion. Aga Khan is esteemed as a great man amongst us. Sir Parry concluded the case with this judgment. In the absence of proof of special usage to the contrary, Khojas and Kutchi Memons in the Bombay Presidency were governed in matters of succession and inheritance by rules analogous to Hindu law. The second case was pretty similar to the first case concerning the inheritance. Gangabai, the plaintiff, argued, I am a Khoja and I inherit my father according to Islamic tradition. Thawar Mullah, on behalf of the defendant, replied, Gangabai is a Khoja, and according to our tradition, she is not entitled to her father's inheritance. The judge, Sir Sose, concluded the will of a Khoja is to be constructed according to Hindu law. The third case is the most celebrated case known as the Aga Khan case or the Khoja case. This time the dispute centered around the assets of the Jamaat Khana. Mr. Ainsley, representing the plaintiff, argued property of Jamaat Khana belongs to the Jamaat. Mr. Howard, representing the defendant, argued property of the Jamaat Khana belongs to His Highness Aga Khan, the Imam. Judge Joseph Arnold, in his verdict that sealed the fate of the Khoja community, stated, it is a sect of people whose ancestors were Hindu in origin, which has converted to and has throughout abided in the faith of the Shia Imami Ismailis, which has always been and still is bound by ties of spiritual allegiance to the hereditary Imams of the Ismailis. This case had an everlasting impact on the Khoja community. The eclectic Satpan tradition was narrowed down to a specific ideology. The Khoja community fragmented to three groups: Sunni Khojas, Ismaili Khojas, and Isnashari Khojas. So what led to the change of verdicts? In first two cases, Khojas were classified as Hindus, but in the third case, they were Shia Muslims. Was it due to socio-political considerations? Is that related to His Highness' influence? Or is it simply reflecting different interpretations of different judges based on the sources they consulted? What are your thoughts?